Hi.
Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having
I'm
us.
so excited.
I know, me too. We were like very looking forward to this like the whole week.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. I'm glad you found some time. I know you're very busy, so
Yes.
it's good that we were able to sneak in during the holidays. Yeah, do you want to introduce yourself?
So I'm Kate. I am one of 3 owners of Mane Soul Salon. I grew up in Old Bridge, New Jersey, which is also where I went to cosmetology school. They had a
Nice.
program in my public high school, which was awesome. So when I graduated, I was able to sit for my boards and get my license, and
Wow.
I've been working in the industry ever since.
Wow. So like in high school you were already working towards getting your
Yes.
certification.
I
Wow.
started the program as a sophomore, so I was
Okay.
15. And sophomore, junior, and senior year, I was in the cosmetology room for
Mm-hmm.
2.5 hours a day. It was considered to be
Wow.
3 classes.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, the bell would ring and I would go to math, science, all the other
Yeah.
core classes. And it was really cool because I didn't have to take a bus to another building or miss
Yeah.
out on any of the social aspects of high school.
Yeah.
So no sacrifices were really made. I just kind of went to school, did my
Yeah.
cosmetology school all at the
Yeah.
same time. So that was really awesome.
Yeah. How did you know like so young that you wanted to do that?
Was it like when you first started it, or was it like you started doing it and then you like learned you had this passion for it?
So growing up, I was a cheerleader, which is like funny and weird because no one ever thinks that about me. But whenever we had cheer competitions and stuff, I was doing everyone's hair and doing everyone's makeup, and
Oh, nice.
I just always enjoyed it, and that was kind of my thing. So my mom encouraged me to enroll into the program that they had. And when I think I was in 8th grade, she was like, "Oh, aren't you so excited for high school? They have this program." And she was telling me all about it.
Yeah.
Her friend was actually the teacher.
Okay.
So my mom had a lot of information and the inside scoop about what the program is and what you can do with it.
Yeah.
So she kind of not pushed, but encouraged me to do it. And I
Yeah.
ended up loving it.
That's great.
I was so excited to get my kit and have like a curling iron and scissors and a roller set. Like it was
Yeah.
just, I was over the moon. It was like Christmas morning when I got that box of hair tools. So
Yeah.
I think she always knew that I wanted to do it. And then she put me in there and I was like, okay, this is great. I love this.
Yeah,
It was fun.
that's awesome. And I guess where did you kind of get your experience from there? Did you work at a different salon?
So before we opened Mane and Soul, I worked in 3 different places.
Wow.
So the first one I started at, I was 17. That salon was in Old Bridge, so close to home. And there I learned how to answer the phone and shampoo and sweep, and I was handing foils.
Yeah.
From there, I went to another salon in Woodbridge, and I learned a little bit more. It was like each salon was a stepping stone for me.
Yeah.
So at the second place, I was applying color and mixing color and learning more about interacting with clients.
Yeah.
Okay.
From there, I left and moved to a salon in Shrewsbury, which is where I spent the most time. I was there for about 3 years,
Wow.
and that's where I had the most hands-on training. I worked one-on-one with the owner of that salon, actually.
Okay.
So I worked on his clients and built relationships with them, and
Yeah.
he kind of helped me move into being a stylist on my own.
Nice.
I trained with him for about 2 years, and then I was on the floor there for a year before I left.
Nice.
So each salon was kind of like a building block.
Yeah.
It was like taking a step to the next level.
Yeah. Do you feel like that hierarchy in hair salons is like very necessary when you're starting off, like going from sweeping the floors to like slowly, eventually,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that is a big controversy right now in 2023. Like a lot of girls come out of school and they just want to be busy and they want to be doing
Yeah.
clients, but you have to work. You have to pound the pavement. You
Yeah.
have to sweep the floors. I think it builds a lot of character doing the hard work and the
Yeah.
jobs that no one wants to do, like taking out the garbage and washing the bowls. But
Yeah.
that's the heartbeat of the salon.
Yeah.
The assistants or associates, apprentices, whatever you choose to call them, we cannot live without them.
Yeah.
When you're a fully booked and busy stylist, you need someone kind of trailing behind you and helping you stay on track and stay on time too, because that's a big thing in our industry. When you're going by appointment, you have to make sure you're ready on time for the next guest.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important, and I hope we never lose that.
Yeah.
And these girls don't stop wanting to be assistants, because there's a lot to be learned.
Yeah.
In every place I worked doing all that stuff, I learned so much just by watching.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that taught me a lot about work ethic too, like having to wash the bowls and take out the garbage and sweep the floors, all of those things. It just keeps the salon going.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if you do choose to work by yourself or to own a salon, you need to know how to do that stuff. It's important to learn.
I think that's really important. And I think like a lot of people can relate to that, because like when you have these first jobs, you kind of have like a similar experience. Like obviously not everyone is working in a salon, but like if you work in a pizza shop and you're kind of like mopping the floors and like doing all the busy work, and then you go from, you know, doing that, you're not always going to be working at the pizza shop. Eventually you're going to be doing something else and doing something bigger. So it's all kind of like doing the little things in the beginning. And you know,
Also just knowing that like especially coming out of school, like yes, you got your certification, like you have those skills, but there's a lot to be learned, and like you're not gonna be coming out of school being like the smartest person in the salon. Like you have to build those skills over time. So it's like also knowing like how to be like humble and take those steps to like eventually get to the point where I'm sure you're at now of knowing so much. And it's like always changing from what I hear. There's always stuff to be learned, and which is amazing.
There's always so many different things, new techniques and new trends to be keeping up with. So working with another stylist, a mentor really that cares about your growth is such an amazing relationship. It's so important. And it made me who I am today. The people that helped me and took the time to teach me, they made such an impact on my career, as I made an impact on their careers, because they were able to take more clients and be busier behind the chair with my help, but I was able to soak up all of their knowledge. So it's kind of like a one hand washes the other relationship. It should never be one-sided. I'm sure there is some salons where you're working really hard and they're not teaching you anything. But here today at Mane Soul, we are teaching them, and they're working and they're learning. So that's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's great. So like
for people, so for people who like don't really know how the process works, can you kind of talk us through like how someone gets started as far as building their clientele? Like when you first start, do you have to build your own clientele, or does the salon like give you clients? Like how does that whole process work?
It depends on where you work and what the business structure is there. Where I came from, their main goal was to build new stylists. So like I said before, you will work one-on-one with a mentor. They'll teach you pretty much everything they know. You're working one-on-one with them and their clients. So for example, if you're doing a full highlight, your mentor will be working on the front of the client's head. You'll be working on the back. So you're kind of getting that hands-on experience the whole time throughout your training. So by the time you're done, you feel confident to be touching people, because that's a huge thing in our industry. People go to school and they're working on mannequins, and mannequins don't talk to you. And then you get into the real world and there's real people with feelings sitting in your chair. And you have to kind of know how to talk to them along with how to do hair. So after going through your training and getting that hands-on experience and learning how to speak with them and all of that stuff, we like to start it like one day at a time at the salon I used to work at and here. So if you're working 5 days a week as an assistant, you'll get one day on the floor and you'll go to 4 days assisting. And then that's when social media comes in. So you're posting all the work that you've done with your mentor. You're saying, hey guys, this is my availability. I'm on the floor on Thursdays now. Come in for XYZ. And a lot of younger stylists will have a following already because they'll post on their personal Instagrams or TikTok or whatever the platform may be. And then you get that one person in, you do their hair, you ask them, can you please tell your friends, your family? And you do a lot of free stuff in the beginning. Come in, I'll give you a free haircut or a free conditioning treatment, whatever it may be, just that incentive to book with you. And it kind of rolls from there.
Yeah.
I always say all you need is one good client.
Yeah.
You have one person that loves you and thinks you're a rock star. They're going to send you their friends, their classmates, their mom, their aunt.
Yeah.
They'll send one good person will send you a ton of new clients.
Yeah.
So you just have to get that one good client in, and it kind of goes
Yeah.
from there.
That's great. Yeah. I mean, I know that I'm sure a lot of people are eager to like build their book, but it takes time, and that also comes along with having the skills too, because like you want something to show for.
Of course. The technical experience is very important, and we always encourage the girls to take photos and videos when they're assisting. Like my assistant right now, her name's Holly. I always tell her, take my photos of my clients and post them on your page. And she's like, well, I don't want to do that. It's your client. And I'm like, but if someone comes in and tells you that, shows you this photo and says, this is what I want, can you do this? Is the answer yes?
Yeah.
So post it.
Yeah.
You did it with me. You did the back. I did the front. Post a photo of the back. That's your work.
Yeah.
You know exactly what to do from start to finish because you've been doing it with me for months.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little weird for some people to do that, but I try to encourage her, like, my work is your work. I couldn't be doing this without you. So use that content. So it kind of builds their portfolio from the very beginning.
Yeah. And their confidence.
Exactly.
Because I'm sure it's nerve-wracking. Like, I can't imagine going in and dyeing someone's hair. Like, I would be scared shitless.
They come in like, very afraid from school. And like I said before, the number one thing they're afraid of is touching people.
Yeah.
And we tell them, girl, you have to get over that. You're going to be touching people for the rest of your career. So if you're not okay with that, this is not for you.
Yeah.
You have to shampoo them. You have to brush their hair. You have to blow dry them. Like that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's interesting because I remember it wasn't too long ago that I had that fear. I was terrified to shampoo.
Yeah.
For some weird reason, it's a thing with all of us.
It's like weird.
It's just like.
It's like human contact,
yes,
like with someone that you don't know.
It's such an intimate thing, like touching another person.
Yeah.
And you don't really think of it until you start sitting with yourself and being like, okay, what is it that I'm actually doing? Like, you're sitting there and washing someone's hair. Like, that's what they do in the shower when they're alone. Like, it's a very, weird thing to be doing. But once you get over it, it's fine.
I totally remember that, like coming from a medical background, like being in clinical rotations and being like a young girl. It's like, how am I going to just like touch this person that I don't know, especially in like a medical setting too. So it's like, it's so intimate, especially like you don't know them and then you're coming in and they're kind of trusting you to like take care of them in that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of trust in this industry that you have to build, and the confidence is key. And I tell the girls that all the time. If you don't show them that you're confident, they're going to be thinking the whole time, the whole appointment, oh my gosh, does Kate's assistant know what she's doing?
Yeah.
Did she mix the right color? Is she using the right shampoo? All of those things. So I tell them all the time, you have to be confident, or the whole time that they're sitting there, they're wondering if you know what you're doing.
So true.
Yeah. And even after, like, I feel like you could probably get the same exact job done twice, but you probably will have a better experience, or like your perception of the experience will be better if the person doing it is confident. Absolutely. Because you'll feel like you were taken care of by an expert. But you don't want to like ever second guess like
I've definitely been in that situation where I'm just like, oh, I don't know if she fully understands like what I'm asking for, if she knows what she's doing. It's like, it's tough because you want to portray to them, you know, and build that connection with your stylists, which I'm sure is like important. Like I'm sure you take the time with the person in your chair to like really understand what the goal is.
Absolutely.
And
consultation is definitely important.
Yeah.
Especially because we speak a different language, the average person versus the hairstylist. So communication is key. They might say that they want a full balayage, and then they show you a picture of something that's completely different of what that means to me.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, girl, I don't think that's what you want. But they don't know the proper terms, and it's not their job to know. It's my job to know.
Exactly.
So that's another thing we teach here. Consultation is key. Sitting there, looking at photos, asking them questions about their lifestyle and all of that stuff, because that really plays into what you get when you're in the chair. Are you someone that wants to be here every 6 weeks, or do you want to come here every 4 months? So that's a lot of what we ask them. Yeah. And we definitely make it a point to teach the girls that are training to ask all the questions and make sure that they know what the client is asking for.
Yeah. So you worked as a stylist for many years, and then at what point were you like, okay, I want to open a salon. I want to be a business owner.
Never.
Yeah.
It's actually a funny story because I don't think I ever really wanted this. I was very content working for someone else, and I liked it there. I was having a great time. I was making good money. And when the door shut at the end of the night, I went home. Yeah. And I didn't have to worry about anything that went on at work. So then COVID happened, and I was unemployed, sitting home. I had a good 3 months of being home. Wow. And I had a lot of time to just sit and think about what I wanted for myself. And going back to where I was working started to give me a little bit of anxiety. I almost left the industry. Really? I was like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. It's so nice to just be home and not be talking to people all day long and be exhausted all the time. Like, my feet don't hurt because I've been home for 3 months, and my shoulder injury is better. A lot of different things that went into it. And then my now business partner, Sarah, she owned a salon suite. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with those, but she was renting a little room and she worked by herself. And I went to go get my hair done with her. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. You can make your own schedule and use whatever products you choose and only accept the clients that you want to take. Like, this is amazing. Can I work with you? So her and I started so salons weren't open yet. So this was still COVID time. Yeah. There was chatter about salons reopening, but we weren't sure yet. So her and I had been talking back and forth, and we said maybe we would go into a double suite so the two of us can work in there together. And then I said, well, wait a minute, what about Nicole? That's my best friend. We worked together at my previous salon. They also knew each other. So I was like, Nicole is going to kill me if I leave this place without her.
You can't leave your work best friend behind.
Yeah, you cannot leave your work bestie. You have to tell them what's going on. So I asked Sarah, can Nicole come with us? Maybe the three of us could split a double and just work opposite days. You know, we were going back and forth with the idea. And Sarah said, well, if there's going to be three of us, why don't we open a commercial space? I said, are you out of your mind? There is a global pandemic happening. We're on unemployment. We don't have jobs, and you want to open a business? And she was like, yeah, we could do anything we put our minds to. And I was like, this girl's out of her mind. But let me just call Nicole and see what she says. So I called her on a Tuesday morning. We hadn't spoken in like a month. We were enjoying our vacation from work. And I was like, hey, do you want to open a salon with me and Sarah? And she just said, yeah. When? Where? No questions asked. So I was like, okay, if two people that I love and trust the most are saying that this is okay, let's do it. So that was in May of 2020. And we started looking for the spaces in June, of which we found this space right away. This is the first one we ever looked at. Wow. We walked in, it was perfect, and we signed the lease in July, and that was that.
That's incredible.
It was really weird and crazy. Everyone thought I was insane. My mom was like, what are you doing? You don't, like, salons are not even allowed to be open legally right now, and you're going to open one? And I was like, yeah, the mandate will be lifted soon. Like, I had no idea. Yeah. And I was 21 years old. I
That's
had
wild.
no idea what I was doing. But she was supportive. Both of my parents were.
That's good.
And I'm very thankful for that, because
Yeah.
a lot of people in this industry are consistently saying, oh, my parents don't want me to do it. They want me to go to college.
Yeah.
A lot of young stylists don't have that support, so I was very lucky.
Yeah. That's incredible. I feel like that is what sets you apart from a lot of other people or stylists in general, to like have that much confidence in yourself and in, I guess, your skills to be able to say like, I deserve this and I know that it'll do well. And that's huge. Like, that's
It was really
insane.
the two of them, if I'm being honest. They were so like ready to do it and confident, and I was scared out of my mind.
Yeah.
You got
But
peer pressured into
I
it.
had nothing to lose. Like, I was looking at these two girls that already owned homes and were married, and Sarah was pregnant.
Wow.
So she was like, she had a baby on the way and was like, let's do this. So I'm like, okay, if she says it's fine, it must be. So it was really cool to have them kind of guiding me through it. I'm about to like cry right now.
I have like chills
I
listening
would
to the
have
story.
never done it without the two of them. And I think we fit together perfectly.
That's so great.
And whoever says 3 friends doesn't work, they have shitty friends, because we work very well together.
Do you think that that made it easier, like going into a business with other people rather than like just starting something yourself?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
We
tough to
can-
find people though that like you really
Yeah.
trust, because that's huge. Like you hear people getting burned left and right in business all the
Absolutely.
time. So that's great that you found people that you trust.
At the end of the day, we all have the same morals and goals, and that was really important. And we did have conversations at length
Yeah.
about what's important to us and what truly, truly matters as far as our business and what we wanted to do with it. So I think that was important. And
Yeah.
a lot of people that start a business with a partner and it doesn't work out, it's probably because they lacked communication.
Yeah.
So we went through every scenario before we opened, down to what happens if one of us wants to leave.
Wow.
Which is like, you don't want to be negative
No,
when you're
yeah,
going
that's a
into
tough
something.
conversation to have.
It was hard, but at the end of the day, we all know that we're safe and we're taken care of. So if I was done and I wanted to go do something else or stop working here, it's set in stone of what happens. So there's never any animosity or weird things that could happen. We really thought a lot about it. And we have a really good lawyer too.
Yeah.
So good lawyer, good accountant. So we have those professionals in our corner that kind of helped us like come to these decisions.
That's good.
So that was important when starting out, for sure.
Yeah. What was that transition like, going from being like a stylist to a business owner? Like those are two very different things.
The best way I could put it is, in comparison, like living with your parents to moving out on your own.
Yeah.
So when you're at home, the bills are paid, the fridge is full, and everything's all fine and good. And you might think, oh, I would love to live on my own. I'm going to do X, Y, Z when I live on my own. And then you get there and you say to yourself, this is really hard.
Yeah.
I have to do everything on my own. It's all my responsibility.
Yeah.
So it was really difficult, but also very rewarding.
Yeah.
I was way more proud of everything that was happening, and the little things mattered more to me.
Yeah.
So at my other salon, I had everything readily available to me. I didn't have to worry about ordering color or
Yeah.
making sure the lights stayed on or anything like that. So it gave me a really amazing like drive to want to do well that I didn't have before.
Yeah.
I feel like before I was a salon owner, I was kind of doing the bare minimum. I was just doing hair,
Yeah.
clocking in, clocking out, and going home.
Yeah.
But now I take pride in this space, and I stay here late to clean it and organize it and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, that's a really good analogy. I never heard that, but when you said that, I was like, damn.
Yeah. It's so true. And people ask me that all the time, and I think everyone has this misconception that it's sunshines and rainbows being a salon owner, that you make all this money and you don't have to work as hard. No, I work 3 times as hard.
Yeah.
For like a little bit more money. Like not really a lot.
Yeah. But like you said, there's a lot of pride in it, and you have like pretty much total creative freedom. You can take it in any direction that you want, and you set the tone. Whereas when you're working in a salon, like you can't really control everything. You can't control the people they hire or how they run it. So this is like amazing that you're able to like really create your reality and your environment every day. And that's awesome to be able to go to work and like actually enjoy the people you're working with. And
I love everyone that's here. Like we all get along so well, and that's another thing I think sets us apart from other salons, because you hear all the time that people are catty in this industry and they don't get along and there's drama. We have none of that. We all love each other, and both professionally and personally. Like I see on social media all the time that the girls that work here are hanging out together and out at the bars and stuff. And it makes me happy that they have built such a nice relationship at work that they take it outside of work. And I'm really proud of that.
That's amazing. Yeah. How did you get like such a like great group together? Because it's not just like coincidence. Like you guys are probably drawing people in between like your energy, but also like your hiring process. Like how do you kind of select people that you think they would be a good fit here?
So it's funny because how many people work here now? We have 9 employees, plus the 3 owners. Okay. I think 8 or 9. I don't know. I lost count. Once we passed like 5 people working here, I'm just like, I don't even know.
That's a lot. That's a lot of people to manage.
Yeah. So I think we only posted that we were hiring twice.
Okay.
And we did hire 2 people from those 2 posts or whatever it was, but aside from that, these girls came to us. They would send us an email and, hey, are you hiring? Here's my resume, or whatever the case. And we never really say that we're hiring, so to speak, but we're always interviewing. Yeah. So if you take the initiative to send us an email or a DM on Instagram, whatever the case may be, we'll sit and chat with you. Because you never know who's going to walk through the door. It could be the most amazing person in the whole world, which has been the case for us. So we'll sit with them and talk with them about what their goals are and why they want to be here. And all of them have said that they just like the energy here. And that's so special to me because I never said that on an interview. Yeah. When I was interviewing for other salons, I want to work here because I want to make money. Yeah. These girls were willing to come and work here and take a chance on a new business because they saw that we were having a good time here and that we were kind to our employees and that it's just a good environment to work in. Yeah. So we don't really find them. I feel like they kind of found us.
I feel like that's even better. And that's like just so telling of your business that there's just that many people that genuinely want to work here because it seems like fun, and it is fun.
And it's supposed to be fun. We do work and we work hard, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of laughter going on in here and everyone's smiling and everyone's happy to be here. So the fact that people are seeing that through our social media and finding it to be genuine enough to apply to work here is awesome, and we're very proud of that for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I mean, speaking about social media, that is like such a powerful tool for you guys. I feel like you guys kill it on social media. Your page is great, and like you said, like you really can tell through the screen that you have such an awesome business, and it really does set you apart from a lot of people. It's so apparent.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
Yeah. How have you used social media to grow your brand, your clientele, just in general?
So for me specifically, like my personal Instagram and my clientele, I feel like I'm constantly posting the stuff that no one wants to post. So I'm trying to think of the best way to word this. So most salon owners are just posting like the glamorous parts of it. I am posting me like scrubbing the toilet and changing the air filters and all of those things. And I think people are attracted to what's honest, and everyone loves it.
Yeah.
And I also have like a stupid series on my Instagram stories. I'll post like backroom shenanigans. So it's like whatever funny stuff is happening in the back. Because clients wonder, like, when my stylist walks away to go mix my color, like, what are they really doing?
Yeah.
And we're like chugging coffee, shoving a protein bar in our face, and like making jokes back there. So it's funny to show the stuff that other people aren't showing. And I think that that has done a lot for me, my personal business behind the chair.
That's
Because
great.
each stylist is their own business at the end of the day. Like, people might love Mane Soul, but they're really coming here for their stylist.
Yeah.
So we encourage the girls to have their own brand within our business.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Like the split is for like people walking in that will just say like, oh, I'll just take any stylist versus people that are really like, I need to be booking with like a certain stylist.
I think with social media, people do a little bit of research before calling the salon. So they will either go on our website where we have all of our artists listed with a photo of them and what they specialize in, and as well as on the Instagram, you can find any information about the girls that work here. So I feel like it's actually pretty rare that people will be like, oh, I'll just go to whoever.
Yeah.
It's more so they'll say, oh, can I go to Kate or Nicole or Sarah or Julie, and so on.
Yeah.
They'll usually pick like a handful that they think they might mesh with, and then ask for one of those girls. And that's why we encourage them to post themselves and like what work they like to do.
Yeah.
We tell them all the time, if you don't like a certain haircut that you did or that your client asked for, don't post it.
Yeah.
Because someone's going to see that picture and come in and ask you to do it again. And then they're going to refer their friend that also wants that haircut. And then you're doing that haircut way more times than you want to. So we try to only post what we like doing. And I think that's how I've like specialized. I mostly, I love doing blondes.
Yeah.
I only want to do blondes. I love my brunette clients, but I love doing blondes. So that's what I post. And people will ask me, do you do brunettes? Do you do redheads? I'm like, yeah, I just don't post them because I don't want more than what I have.
Yeah.
So we encourage the girls to post what they like. And
That's great.
get more of what they like.
Yeah. And you're also helping them like enjoy the work that they do. Like they don't feel like they
Exactly.
have to come to work and, you know, do stuff that they hate. Like you genuinely want them to enjoy their work and their time here. And that's, I feel like, very unique because I feel like when I think of most businesses and business owners, I mean, there has to be some structure and rule because that's how the
Absolutely.
business flows. But the fact that you know that each of these girls like has their individual like quirks and personality and they want to shine through in a certain way, like that's great that you honor that and you let them, you know, be who they are.
We will never force them to do a service that they don't want to. Because going back to what we were saying before, it's all about your confidence.
Yeah.
So if you're doing something that you're not confident in, the client knows that. And even me as an owner, I've had my existing clients that I've been doing for 2, 3, 4 years come in with a photo of a haircut that I know I cannot do. I probably could do it. I could fake it. It would probably be fine. But then that reflects poorly on my reputation.
Yeah.
I would rather be honest with that client and say, hey, I might not be the best person to do that haircut, but there's someone here that is.
Yeah.
And I can send them right over to the next chair and they get the most amazing haircut ever.
Right.
So I think that's what sets us apart too. We don't force the girls to do anything they're not confident in. And it's really fun that we all get to share clients and they enjoy getting to meet the other girls that work here.
Yeah.
And it makes me happy when the other girls are booked and busy.
Yeah.
Take my clients. I'll have more time to answer emails and other stuff like that.
That's so great.
Yeah.
And it seems like you've taken a lot of master classes and now I think it's your first one that you're teaching.
So I've taught two 2 other classes
Okay.
this year. And in
Nice.
2024 will be my first one teaching here. And I'm actually doing it with my
Nice.
business partner, Sarah. So
Wow.
that's a new business venture, I guess you
Yeah.
could say. So it's really cool to bring other people in the industry together and just show them what I know.
Yeah.
It's
And
really cool.
like you said, like it's good to stay updated on the trends, and you're always learning, you're always evolving. There's new ways to do things all the time. There's new products. So the fact that like you're so honed in on making sure that you're always learning, I think that's a great thing to set precedent for like your stylist here and just for yourself. Like it's great to always learn and try and do better. So
They
it's
love it.
amazing.
We have a class here probably monthly,
Wow.
with the exception of November, December, because we're so busy.
Yeah.
So we don't have time for that.
Yeah.
No one in the industry does. But we'll bring in artists from all over the country to come and teach here, which is so awesome. And the
Wow.
girls get to network with other stylists and learn something new. And it's really nice that it's in our home base, so people
Yeah.
get to see how we do things here.
Yeah.
It's really very nice.
That's great. And even just using social media as a tool to be able to learn things, like there's so much out there and there's stylists all over. The fact that you can just easily Google them or like connect with them over Instagram.
Yes,
It's like
absolutely
insane.
You can learn so much from Instagram now, and even TikTok. Like,
Yeah.
the girls that are in school now have it much easier than we did.
Yeah.
So like I was saying before, I encourage people to work in a salon and have a mentor and learn and do all the things. But if you really worked hard enough straight out of school and you got on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and absorbed all of that information, now you kind of can just go straight out on your own.
Yeah.
There's so much information out there. You just have to be willing to find it.
Yeah.
And that really wasn't a thing when I started. I started cosmetology school in like 2014, 2015, give or take. And there was not a lot of people were posting. There wasn't even a video option on Instagram at that time, I don't think.
Probably
Like
not.
stories weren't even a thing.
Yeah.
Like it's evolved so much, and there's so
Yeah.
much information out there, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think also with social media, like they're changing so much as far as like when we were younger, it was pretty much like if you followed someone, you would see their posts. And unless you went on an explore page, like you didn't see other content out there. And now it's totally different. It's like you can follow someone, but there's like the content still has to be good because you're competing with like the algorithm, like all the stuff that you don't follow that they're like pushing onto you. So it like kind of works both ways. Like you also can, like you're saying, you get discovered so much easier now because your content gets pushed like beyond your audience, which is pretty cool.
You don't even have to go looking for it now. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it'll find you.
crazy. My whole TikTok is like hair videos, and I try to scroll away so fast, and I'm like, do not show more, because TikTok is like my separate space where I want to see other things, because my Instagram is so flooded with hair
Yeah.
videos and stuff. But if it's for you, it finds you.
Seriously. So true.
It's so interesting. Like I have like a page for my bookkeeping business. We have one for social media. Like I have a few different pages, and it's interesting seeing how like all the algorithms are slightly different. Like the things that it thinks I want on each are slightly different.
Seriously. Yeah. So you've talked a little bit about like what it's like to own a salon, and I feel like what you post, like you were saying, that it's not always very glamorous, you know, at all times. I remember you saying that there was like flooding at one point in here.
Oh yeah.
And like there's just always something when you own a business that could always go wrong. What has been like probably the biggest thing that you've had to overcome, or like something that you've maybe had to learn the hard way that you're like, all right, not going to do that again?
We've made a few very expensive mistakes.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So like I said before, not changing the air filters.
Oh no.
Our heat broke, I think it was last January. So January of 22, the whole system was not working. It was freezing in here in January. because we didn't change the filters since we moved in. We didn't know we had to. I'm like, I'm just a girl.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, same.
And then we thought we learned that lesson, but we didn't because it broke again this year.
Oh no.
But it's like the little things that you forget to do because there's so much going on in a day. And I think being a full-time salon owner and full-time stylist is really what makes it hard. Like, I want to be behind the chair. I love doing hair. I love my clients, but I also want to be able to do the business owner stuff. And that's why it's awesome that there's 3 of us. So we all kind of wear different hats and have different responsibilities.
Yeah.
But sometimes those little things slip through the cracks. So I feel like staying organized has kind of been the hardest thing, and making sure that we meet all the deadlines that we have to and don't forget the little things.
Yeah. And like, you're also trying to find balance. Like, you're literally in your 20s.
Yes.
Like, you're supposed to, I guess there's really no like guidelines anymore, but like, you're still young. Like, you know, there's a lot to be enjoyed too in life. And the fact that you have all this responsibility is just insane and so admirable. Like,
Thank you.
I think a lot of people look up to you. I know I do. I don't know why, but when I first met you, I thought that you were older than me. Not by looks, but like, you carry yourself so well. You are like so mature. And I remember when Ashley, our cousin, or I guess your stepsister, said that, you know, you were younger than me, I was blown away. I was
get
like,
that
how?
all the time.
No, you
in
really.
my old salon, I think I was like 19. Clients would be like, how many kids do you have? And I'm like, I'm the child.
I am the kid.
I am the child, and I do not drive a minivan yet. Like, but a lot of people have always said that. That's funny that you say that.
Yeah. It's like you were like destined to be a business owner. You're just so mature. You handle it so well.
I love it. I hate to say it because it sounds like I'm like tooting my own horn, but I've always been like a natural born leader. Like, I love teaching people and helping people. And I guess that's probably my favorite thing about being a salon owner. I love watching these girls grow and having a hand in helping them. So seeing them get new cars or move out and reach their goals, it's so rewarding to me. Like, I'm so proud of them. I love it. And that's probably my favorite thing about owning the salon is just getting to watch them all grow and to help them build their dreams. Yeah. And it's really fun. I love it.
I'm just so curious because every time I get a haircut, which I mean, it hasn't been the last like 2 years, like every time I sit in the chair, I'm amazed at the small talk. Like, it's so good. And I don't know how like hairstylists do it. Can you like talk a little bit about like,
because it's a great question.
Yeah, because I'm sure it's not. Because I'm sure it's not natural for everyone. I'm sure for some people it's like natural, but like I know for me, if I were to do that, like it would be a real challenge for me to like make small talk.
It's definitely difficult for sure, and it's a learned skill. I think you have to enjoy chatting with people to do a job like this. But every once in a while you get someone in the chair that doesn't want to talk, and that's really hard. So I think it's a learned skill, and you have kind of like icebreaker questions. Yeah. My first one is, oh, how did you find out about Mane Soul? Or how did you find out about me? And for the most part, they'll know someone that already comes here or comes to me, and then we have like a mutual friend, it feels like. So that will lead into more of a conversation. So I have a whole list of questions in my head that I'll ask. Where are you from? Where do you go to school? Are you seeing anyone? All of those kinds of things that you would ask someone. It's kind of like a first date. I guess.
You do it like 16 times a day.
Yeah, and it kind of goes from there. Sometimes they just don't want to chat, and that's fine. If I've asked you like 5 questions and we're hitting a wall, that's cool. Silent appointment. You can put your headphones in. A lot of people will work from here. Wow. So they'll ask for the Wi-Fi password. They have their laptops, and that's fine. It's your time. You can do whatever you want. And then I think the first time is the hardest when you meet a new client with talking to them. But then the next time they come, it's like you know them already. So it's like catching up with a friend, and it kind of goes from there. some people have been doing their hair for 5 years. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I know their mom's name, their dog's name, the boyfriend drama, all the things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it ends up like you just learn a lot about them, and you can ask them different questions. So it gets easier with time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But sometimes it's hard because
Yeah.
you ask a question and then they tell you a lot of heavy stuff and you're
Yeah.
like, whoa.
You're like
Yeah.
therapist.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I never really realized that until I started building relationships with people and they were coming to me more.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, like they're telling
Yeah.
me this crazy stuff and like
Yeah.
asking me
Yeah.
my advice. And who am I? I'm just your
Yeah.
hairstylist. I don't know if you should break up with your boyfriend or go on this date with this guy. Like, I have no idea. But I do my best to help them.
Yeah. And on the flip side, like you're human and you probably
Yeah.
have bad days and then you're forced to like put on a smile
Yeah.
and the service industry is hard. You have to be on your game
Yeah.
a lot of the time. So,
It's like you're on stage.
yeah.
And we encourage the girls that if you're not feeling well and you can't do it, whether you be physically sick, mentally sick that day, like just stay home. We're allowed
Yeah.
to have a day off. And if you
Yeah.
feel like you can't do the small talk, that's okay. Because some of the stuff people share with you can be a little bit triggering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful and like take care of yourself too when you're behind the chair.
Yeah.
I've had people share a lot of dark stuff with me. And if they
Okay.
get that on the wrong day, I'm like,
Yeah.
whoa. And
Yeah.
it can be a little bit triggering for us as stylists. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's our job to be there for them and to help them and
Yeah.
get them through it. So
That's so great.
yeah,
Awesome.
that was a really good question.
Yeah.
I'm proud of that.
That was a really good question. We want to do a little rapid fire questions with you.
Okay.
We did not send them to you because we
Oh,
wanted
no.
we wanted you to answer from the heart.
I knew this
think
was
you
going to
have
be a
it
trick.
right.
I knew there was something.
A little experiment.
Oh, no.
Okay, you ready?
I don't know. I'm afraid.
You have to be quick with them.
Okay.
All right. If you could have only one hair tool, which one would it be?
Bio-ionic 1-inch curling iron.
Brunette or blonde?
Blonde.
Extensions or bob?
Extensions.
Worst hair trend?
I don't even know. There's so many bad ones. I hate the 90s highlights, like the Kelly Clarkson
Okay.
stripes. Don't ask me for that. I don't know how to do that.
Favorite celebrity hairstyle?
Tracy Cunningham.
Slick back or messy bun?
Messy bun.
What is your hairstylist superpower?
The Kate curls. Yeah, everyone loves the Kate curls.
Curly or straight?
Straight.
Go-to music playlist or genre at the salon?
Pop punk hits.
Favorite Starbucks drink?
Hot caramel macchiato with soy milk.
Favorite hair care brand?
Amika.
Fact or myth? Cutting your hair makes it grow faster.
Fact.
Favorite hairstyle on guys?
A fade.
That was good.
I don't know. That's what haircut my boyfriend has. I was like, I better be careful.
So our closing question is, what advice would you give to an aspiring salon owner? Where should they start? I feel like we kind of talked about it a lot, but
I guess, like I said before, having a really good lawyer and a really good accountant, because having a bad accountant is a life ruiner.
Yeah.
You need to have someone that's going to help you make the right business decisions, because at the end of the day, we've been saying this whole episode that I love having fun and it's all about having fun here and good vibes and all the things, but the finances need to be there.
Yeah.
We have to be able to pay the rent and keep the lights on and all of that stuff. So
Yeah.
I think doing your research on who you're going to be using to help you grow your business is really important. And also reaching out to other salon owners. I think there's a misconception that we all are competing with each other, which is not the truth. Like, I will help anyone that asks me anything, no matter what business you're opening. Like you and I talked about it with Link Up. Like I was like, oh, this is what I did, do this, this, and this. And it was really rewarding for me to help you because
you gave me a lot of good advice
other
that day.
people helped me. And I think it's my responsibility and now yours too. Like if someone asks you, just tell them.
Yeah.
Because you're not doing anything better for yourself by gatekeeping information. So I encourage people that want to do something like this or open any type of business to ask other people that own a business.
That's great advice.
If you want to get where you want to go, you have to ask someone that's been there.
Yep.
So I think that's my best advice, I guess. Ask a lot of questions, and if someone tells you no, you're asking the wrong person. So just keep it pushing and keep asking your questions.
That's so great. Where can they find you? All the socials.
So I'm on Instagram. It's at Kate Gaynor _ and the salon is at Mane Soul. I have TikTok too, but I don't even know what my TikTok is, to be honest.
We'll link it below.
Yeah. Link in bio.
Well, thanks for having us.
Thank you so much, guys. This was
a lot of fun. Yeah, we got a lot of good information. Yeah. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
So much fun. That was a good episode.
A lot of fun.
Good.